Phil, our offense is doing anything the last few weeks to kind of neutralize Brian Burns a little more?
Yeah, Brian and I talked about that yesterday. And, the flow of the game and things that are doing, he just hasn't had the opportunity like Hassan has, based on formation and backfield set and those type things. So, no, I think, I think his productivity will get better as we go, and I don't know, because I looked into that and watched the tapes, and so I don't think it's anything Brian's doing. It's just based on formation what's happened.
Could you explain that maybe in layman's terms without giving too much away?
Yeah, I mean, they can put a tight end over to his side more. They can, based on the blocking scheme, slow him down where he has responsibilities where he can't go as hard after the quarterback and the ball carrier. So, and those things happened, last week with all the belly read stuff that they did. And he happened to be on that side a lot. So, those types of things have slowed him down a little bit.
So what do you think has been the biggest difference in the last two losses than what you all did right before in the first 3 wins?
Can you ask that again, please?
Sorry, what do you think hasn't gone as well these last 2 losses compared to what you all did well in the first 3?
Well, obviously the Cowboy team is really a good football team, right? So, they had a lot to do with that. And I think last week we just didn't finish the ball game. I think we played well as a team for a long time, and then we just didn't finish. And so that, that led to what happened. So we just got to keep at it. And, you hate to lose a game like that, but hopefully we learn from it and it helps us down the road.
How did Chin moving him back around? Did you use him more linebacker last week or?
Who, Chin?
Jerry, yeah.
Yeah, we had, based on with some injuries and stuff, we've had to use Jeremy in different roles, right? And so, and he's adapted real well, so he's doing fine.
Are you kind of still waiting for him, though, Phil, to when he really kind of gets it with this, that there's some big plays, not that he had made plays, but some big ones like we saw last year?
Oh, yeah. You'll see him grow every week, and, not only is he playing a different position at safety, and in different packages, it's slightly different this year. So he's growing in the package, and as we go, he'll make more and more plays.
You think this Vikings team rushing offense will kind of come at you sort of like Dallas did?
Yeah, no question. Cook's healthy, and they're going to try to run the football against us. That's how Zim plays anyway, right? I mean, they play great defense and special teams, and his games aren't blowout games, right? And they're designed that way. That's how they play. And so, they're going to run the football against us.
Their rushing attack more similar to Dallas, say, than what the Eagles did?
Yes, quite a bit more. Yep.
CJ only played about, I think, 21% of the snaps. Was that a by design thing, a scheme thing, or is he still just getting himself up to speed?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So, he'll get more and more snaps as we go. So, it's a combination of both.
How do you feel like Taylor stepped up, especially because he was basically on the outside for a lot of the game?
Yeah, he doesn't, the atmosphere and who he's playing against and all that doesn't seem to bother him at all. I said that earlier, I think in camp, JC and him, for rookies, they don't care who they're playing against or, how good the guy is. They just go out and play, and they're confident in their abilities. So, that's fun to watch as a rookie.
Coach, how important is for you to have a very physical nickel like Bouye? He did a lot of good plays last game, just broken screens. And how important is to have a nickel, that physical nickel?
Really important. AJ, the first, you got to get him playing shape. He was, he didn't play for a while now. He was injured and down. So he's going to get better and better every week. And he's got really good instincts, understands the game, and he made some really nice plays last week. So you'll continue to see that as he goes. And he's getting in better shape. So he's just going to play better every week, I think.
Gilmore, I guess, at least in meeting rooms for a week. What are you learning from him?
Well, first of all, he's a pro. He's no ego. He's come in and fit in right away. Wants to learn what we're doing. He's a real pro. So I think all the guys are enjoying him. So I'm anxious to see when and how much he can play this year. So it'll be fortunate. I think we'll be fortunate that he's here if he can get on the field for us.
Is there some question, Phil, as to when you might get him?
I don't know what the parameters of that are. I'm not involved in those decisions, so I just don't know yet.
All right, until you get him, and when you look at a guy like Taylor and AJ, I mean, are these important evaluations for who's going to be the fifth corner, so to speak, when you do get Gilmore?
Yeah, and and then like AJ could play a lot of different positions for us too, right? So we'll put the best players on the field. It's a good problem to have when you have all those guys that can run around and cover guys. And like I've said, in 3rd and 6 or less, you're going to be in some type of man-to-man coverage, right? You need cover guys. And that's one of the reasons we've really improved on 3rd down. We've added a few pass rushers, and we're covering better. So, it takes athleticism and good players to win on 3rd down. To rush the passer, it takes a great athlete, and to cover somebody. And we've upgraded ourselves in those two areas. So that's why we've improved on 3rd down.
Phil, Matt said something yesterday along the lines of your philosophy is kind of if the other team scores one more point, we didn't play great defense. Is it almost a heavier burden or more of an expectation you feel like on you guys right now?
No, I don't think so. I don't. Coach Zim with Minnesota, him and I were in the Big Sky together, and so I have followed him forever, and he's a defensive guy, and his approach is the same way. Our job is to that they have fewer points than we do. That's our job. It doesn't matter how the game goes, right? And the flip side of that, offensively, they've got to do whatever it takes to score more points. I mean, that's the job, right? We had a lead in the 4th quarter. We have to continue to keep that lead. That's our job. And so so that's a little disappointing that didn't happen at the end of the ball game for us.
What were those Big Sky offenses like back then? What was it like? Who were some of the quarterbacks you were scheming against?
Well, we saw a lot of good quarterbacks, but the head coaches in the league were unbelievable. Mike Price, Chris Alt, Jim Kreiner, Dennis Erickson. I mean, these guys, back in the day, it was funny, I left the Big Sky and went to the Pac-10, and they were just going to one-back sets. Well, we'd been facing them for 5 years. And so that league was way ahead of its time. The coaches, and a lot of those guys became great head coaches at other levels, right? So it was, I think it was great for all of us. I think Zim, if you talk to him, he'd love the Big Sky himself. He was with Mike Price. And so it was really a fun time, and it was the early 80s, so it was really a fun time.
Did you know Zim pretty well back then?
Well, when I say I knew him real well, we back then had a Big Sky golf tournament, and everybody would come every year in the spring. We hosted it in Boise most of the time, so we had a great time. So you got to know a lot of guys, and there's so many guys from those teams in the Big Sky at that time that became head coaches and coached in the NFL, and it was a great time to be a coach at that time.